First thing is people are like, what is the challenge? Someone asked, like, what's the difference between this and PCFU? What do we win? You know, people have a lot of questions. So I want you to understand the basis of the challenge is the idea that this is what we do with our 8-week cycle all the time. We do this 5-6 times a year. Our challenge and our belief is that you shouldn't do a challenge that's unrealistic and not going to translate to long-term goals. We see this often with challenges, that people do a really strict or challenging 30-day or 8-week challenge that doesn't really translate to long-term goals. Right? And people like the challenges because they do stuff and commit, but they're not quite sure what to do after. And the idea is that this challenge symbolizes our approach to long-term training. So this is exactly what we do every 8 weeks. We have an 8-week cycle where we think that you should dedicate, thinking about a long-term goal, dedicate to a short-term goal for the next 8 weeks. Every 8 weeks, we typically do a test at the beginning and a retest at the end. Every 8 weeks, we offer the PCFU classes, where you can focus on specific things, right? And that the services that we have here for you guys to succeed, we think that the training really kind of boils down to multiple parts. Going to group class is the obvious one, right? I always say that all the workouts are free online, right? CrossFit is free online. People pay for the support, for the coaching, for the environment, all of those things, right? That's a big piece of it. It's fun to work with other people. When you have friends here, they hold you accountable. But then outside of that, this is like PCFU, private training, is that you're going to have specific needs. No group class program is perfect for you. And the idea is we take these bigger chunks of barbell work, gymnastics work, nutrition work, mobility work, and try to get you focused for a period of time and learning stuff that'll last a long time. That's the idea. So the everything is everything term that's really what it's about, is that you have people that show up and they have a lot of mobility, but they need a little bit of strengthening work. And we can give them some individual work to get better. Maybe they choose barbell, maybe they choose gymnastics. But they can focus on something. So the quick breakdown of nutrition is going to be run by Matt, who's here. So afterwards, if you have any questions you're doing nutrition, let them know. The nutrition breakdown, we always say this, is not based on paleo concepts. That's something we can talk about, but the primary thing that we're focusing on is getting you to hit your macros, macronutrient ratios, and calories. And it's really breaking down for you how you can do these things. These are the big things for short-term success as far as hitting your performance goals, whether that's losing weight or building muscle, improving performance, okay? Mobility or prehab with Steve, who can't be here. The idea here is one of our sayings, right? Mechanics, consistency, intensity. We see a lot of people that skip to the end. They skip to intensity to reach their goals. They think if they work harder, they'll get there faster. But the mechanics part is the key for avoiding injury and continually making gains as you go. So the big ones for mobility are overhead position and squat mobility. And this stuff, there were a lot of people, if any of you got my email, people were like, I want to get better at barbell. And I put a thing in there that said, if you cannot perform an overhead squat or a front squat or have a good overhead position, mobility should be your priority before barbell, right? Without those positions, you're going to, again, plateau, and you're going to struggle to do the movements right. So these two are really like the big foundation for most people. The gymnastics, for anyone that's talked to me about this, this is a harder nut to crack because there's a lot of movements here, a lot of different issues that people have. We're boiling this down to just focusing on a freestanding handstand. All right? The ability to control your body in space in a perfectly straight line, that mobility of your shoulder, body awareness, strength will translate into understanding of other gymnastic movements. So the idea there is we're going to boil it down, really focus on getting a freestanding handstand. And then the barbell, is the Oli lifts with Josh, right? Oh, sorry, I didn't say Chelsea over here too for gymnastics. But the Oli lifts are super challenging, right? You need to be strong at your squat, you need to be fast, coordinated, all of those things why we teach it. And we have, for both gymnastics and barbell, we have a PCFU class, which is a working through a 6-week program with a coach. But we also have options you can go to on your own. So for gymnastics, Chelsea has an 8:30 class on Wednesdays that you guys can do. We'll be working on various skills rather than just handstands. That'll be a part of it. And then for barbell, we have obviously VBC, but also the PCFU class that Josh does on Saturdays, which is a little bit different. All right? So these are the basic things. And as you focus on these, we're going to have some tests. So this is the fun part. Everyone will be doing these. That if you focus on one area of these, you get better. You should get better at everything. Right? That's the idea. Some of the barbell club athletes might not get better at their conditioning, but the idea is that these things translate. And in the short term, just really focus on improving one area and see what happens to everything. So there are, I think, 9 total tests coming up in group class this week. They're going to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you are doing the challenge officially, there's nothing official on Monday, but we are testing our back squat, our 1 rep max back squat on Monday. So just think about your training so you can optimize your performance if you care about getting a good score. So Tuesday, what we're going to do, test 1 is going to be a max effort hanging L-sit. That's it. As well as max effort strict pull-ups. Okay? So pretty straightforward, simple gymnastic tests. For the L-sit, we'll have 2 variations allowed. Both feet together, holding your legs at parallel as long as you can. And then for if you can't hold that for any time at all, it's going to be a hanging knee raise, okay, where you keep the thighs parallel to the floor. For the pull-ups, if you cannot do strict pull-ups, we're going to see how long you can hold your chin over the bar. Okay? Those are the 2 variations for that. All right? That's going to go into our chipper test. Our chipper is going to be a double scored workout. So it is 1 mile run to start off. This will be its own score. You go immediately into 50 goblet squats. The advanced weight is 70-55 or 55-35 for the regular RX. Then 30 pull-ups. For the scale is going to be jumping chest to bar pull-ups. Then 50 calorie row. Gets tough right here. 30 toes to bar. If you can't do the toes to bar, it's going to be hanging knee raises. And then finishes with 100 double unders. All right? So here's the thing about this. We had one person test this. I don't expect a lot of people to finish. Okay? We are going to give a time cap of 25 minutes. The double unders are not allowed to be scaled. All right? Double unders is a skill we think everyone should be working towards. I said there's no physical limitations to a double under. If you've ever heard me say this. Everyone can jump this high, and everyone can do this. Right? You have to practice it if you want to get better. Okay? So this will be timed mile, and then total time or however far you make it. Okay? If you want to finish, right, you might think about scaling to lighter weight or jumping chest to bar, but this is like the open. You have a choice, so you're going to stick to it. If you suck at toes to bar and you're doing one at a time, or pull-ups are still challenging, you're setting a test, and then in 8 weeks you're going to retest. Okay? One of the fun things about what we're doing, guys, just to remind you, is this is all leading up to the PCF World Championships, okay? Where you'll have a chance to do this on stage, okay? So this is Tuesday. Any questions about that? Sound like fun? Totally. Settle down, guys. All right?
You said the retest is going to be
Yeah.
the events. Yeah, we're going to go there.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't that sound fun? All right, here's Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be max effort handstand hold to kick the day off. And then that'll take, 5-10 minutes. And then we're going to do a 10-minute EMOM of 10 bar-facing burpees, 1 clean and jerk. Your score is total weight lifted. Okay? So this is a little bit of strategy. I did this workout like a year and a half ago, and when I did it, I thought, this should be a competition workout, right? Because it forces you to be efficient on the burpees, right? To give yourself time to recover on the clean and jerk. By the end of the 10 minutes, you're 100 burpees in. You don't want to fucking miss, right? You lose 100-something pounds, whatever, right? So you need to be confident in what you're going to hit, but also be able to move when you're tired. Okay, so there's a little bit of strategy. You're allowed to change weight, add weight. So the way that we're going to scale this is you only have to do 7 burpees if you want to do a scale down. If you can't fit 10 burpees in or don't have time or you feel like that's too challenging for you, it is a bit advanced at the end. Remember, it's 100 burpees. So we're going to take off just 3. If you think about how long that takes, that for some people, down, up, jump over, can take quite a bit of time. So by lopping 3 off each round, you're reducing the volume there. Any questions on that? So the idea here is as you get stronger and fitter, your total at the end should be heavier. So on this day, we're just going to do the max handstand. Warm up, you're going to kind of establish what weight you want to do. You are allowed to power clean or squat clean, whatever you want, but it's just total weight lifted. Cool? Does that sound fun? Yeah. Right? That one sounds fun, doesn't it? Last test. So this is one of Steve's ideas that we're going to do. Some people will pass this test, but the idea is the better and stronger you get in some of the prehab stuff that we do, the better and stronger you get in movement, in stability, in positioning. So we have 2 tests. Well, it's not really max effort, but it's reverse snow angels. Everyone knows those? All right, so for guys, it's going to be with 5-pound plates. Right? If you can make 20 reps with that, you pass. Women is 2.5-pound plates. Okay? The next one is the side plank on the wall. Do you guys know that one? So side plank on the wall. Your heel needs to touch the wall for 20 reps with no rest. All right? So max effort, side plank with a kick. Okay? And you need to be able to do that on your hand. Okay? So those are 2 little mobility strength tests. We're going to do, following that, 3 rep max, you'll love this, overhead squat. Okay? So overhead squat, why do we love it? Because it's hard. Right? So for those of you that want to get stronger, remember this is where mobility will affect you. Right? So working out of a rack, we're going to build to a 3 rep max overhead squat. Okay? And that's going to be our final test for the week. Right? So there's only 2 conditioning. We got some basic gymnastic strength, a little prehab strength, and this is going to be a workout on Friday, but it's just not part of the challenge. All right? Anybody have any questions on that?
So then do we start with next week? Is that when the actual challenge
Yep, so think about for the 8 weeks, week 1 is going to be establishing where you're at.
So this is physical arm.
This is week 1, correct. All right, and all of this will build up. We got an 8-week cycle with your specific work that you're going to do, with our group class programming, which will also be geared towards helping this, and then PCFU classes, all gearing up towards PCF World Championships, where you get to retest.